Hi everyone, I'm Irene. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Have you visited Pinery Residence over the weekend? Or you're planning to? Or maybe you've submitted a check or cashier's order, or you're sitting on the fence on whether a mixed-use development in Tampines West is something for you. Today we'll talk about the pricing strategy and also which layout would be the most optimal and the one that you should prioritize. Alright, but first thing first. Get the project development itself again. Alright. Know by now that the developer is Hoy Hub, okay, no stranger. They've done many condo before, the mega developer. And then Pinery Residence is a mixed use, meaning there's a commercial mall at the ground floor. Okay, it's not really huge, it's about 11,000 square meter, which is about 1.5 football field. Not big, but what I like is that there is a supermarket, and they cater quite a lot of space for F&B. Over 60 shops of F&B and retail. I think it serves the needs of the residents. If I'm living there, I need a supermarket. I'm hungry, I go down, I have food to eat. I need to travel, I just take the link pass, the link way to the MRT station. So for day-to-day need, I think it's good enough. Like, yeah. Location wise, I'm sure you will know if you were to drive along Tampines West MRT, Tampines West Avenue 1, this way, Pinery Residence will be over here. There's two, yeah. So one of the residence main entrance will be here. So you will go down from PIE, you go down, will be this way down. All right. And then the SAFRA will be here, but note that SAFRA will move away around 2029, 2030, and we don't know what will replace SAFRA after they move out. Yeah, so we're surrounded, Pinery Residence is also surrounded by BTOs here and BTOs here. Okay, they're still currently under construction. TOP should be about 2028 or beyond. Yeah, and then of course the EC, which will TOP around the same time as Pinery Residence, will be diagonally across. All right, and of course Bedok Reservoir will be this direction. Okay, and then if you're buying or considering Pinery Residence, I'm sure you know you're going for the convenience and the connectivity. Yeah, so there's direct connection. There is direct connection to the MRT. Yeah, there's a link, so it's not directly below, which is good because if you have been to like Bedok Mall, yeah, the train station, the MRT runs under the mall, so you can feel, if you are very sensitive, you can feel the vibration when the train passes by. So for Pinery Residence, there won't be such a problem because the MRT doesn't run under the mall. Okay, and the convenience, like I mentioned, supermarket, F&B, yeah, everything, you just need to take one lift to reach your favorite, breakfast joint or your favorite fast food. Yeah, and of course, not forgetting the parents. You have not one, but 4 primary school within 1 kilometer. And if you live in Tampines, you know, or rather in the east, you should know that St. Hilda's Primary is really well sought after. So being within 1 kilometer really put the child at a great advantage to being enrolled in the school. Okay. And the site itself, at Pinery itself, there are 6 blocks in total, 588 units. I would say it's a good mid-sized development, not too big like some other development in Tampines like the Treasures or Parktown, where everyone is like too many neighbors. Yeah, so I think over 500 units kind of hit the sweet spot for me because the facilities won't be overcrowded. I won't have to fight for space in the gym or fight for space in the swimming pool. Yeah, things like that. Yeah, so 6 blocks in total, all are north-south facing, except for 2 blocks, Stack 29 and Stack 20. These are the 2-bedroom layout, so they will get the sunset view and the sunrise view, which is the east and west sun, right? Yeah, so If you're considering Pinery Residence, I can tell you there are no view. Come on, this is Tampines. Okay, you're buying in the convenience and the connectivity. So I would say that the premium facing will be the pool view. Maybe the pool view. Yes. Yeah, so that's where you can expect the price to be slightly higher compared to those that faces the BTO here. Yeah, and here as well. Yeah. Okay, but do note that there's one particular block that has a little bit of view, a greenery view. Let me see. Okay, the greenery view here. Let me just touch up a bit. Okay, the bit of greenery view, which is this block at 924 because you will have the advantage of facing the BTO park. Yeah, at block 924. Okay, but like I say, if you're considering Pinery Residence, you're not really going in for the view. Yeah, and this view do come with a catch because it's actually faced directly above the commercial drop-off point, so there might be a little bit of traffic, especially if you're on the lower floor. Okay, interesting about Pinery Mall, which I don't know, you like it or you hate it. Yeah, so Pinery Residence sit on top of the mall. Okay, and every block has direct access to the mall, meaning that you, from your level where you stay, you take one lift, it will bring you down to the mall directly. You do not have to switch to another lift, the facility lift, just to get to the mall. All right, so if you're at block, if you are at this block here, if you're at this block here, you can take a shopping trolley down and then you hit the supermarket right away. Yeah, and if you're along these blocks here, you are the nearest to the MRT. Yeah, so what's not good about having direct access to the mall is, I would think it might be a security issue. That means that the public might be able to trespass and access up to your unit. Yeah, of course there'll be CC camera, there'll be security in place to minimize this, but somehow a few public people will just manage to tailgate and get into your development, which is something that you might want to consider. Yeah, but I think it's really quite convenient, like just one lift down and then you reach the MRT linkway or to the supermarket or to your favorite fast food or your okay. So that's something that you want to note, you want to highlight as well. And then another thing I like about Pinery Residence is there's a separate car park access for the residents. So imagine you're driving, because not all mixed development has this facility. Yeah, imagine you're coming home in the evening 6+, then you're driving or you're driving home, and then you have to squeeze the public crowd who are going to the mall for to settle their dinner, and then you have to queue with them just to get home, which is quite a nuisance. I imagine it happen there every day. Yeah. So at least for Pinery Residence, this is well thought out of. There's a separate entrance for the residents to access to the car park. Okay, and you do not share the same car park. So there's a public car park and there is a residential car park. Okay, yeah. So next thing you might ask would be the pricing. How would White Hart price their unit on booking day? Yeah, if you were to take reference to Key Residence and Continuum, because both of them are done by White Hart, I would think that because they might go by per floor loading. Okay, meaning that if you look at Key Residence, right, this is on their launch day, so same stack, right? You can see that level 2 to level 3 there is a jump. There's a difference. There's a difference of about 12,000, and then from level 4 to level 5 there's another difference of another 9,000. Yeah, so it's like quite moderated. But once you hit level 7, there is a jump of about 50,000. Yeah, so this is what we call the price loading, like it was like incremental floor, but for suddenly at a certain floor there's a substantial increment in the jump. So what should you do in this instance if you have a decent queue number and you're next in queue? Well, ideally you do not go for the unit that where the jump is. Yeah, either you go for the unit before that or the unit after that. Yeah, so it's the same for continuum. Okay, so same day on the launch day. Is is similar from like level 4 to level 5. From yeah, from level 4 to level 5 there is a jump of 60,000. Yeah, so if you can, don't go for where the price load is. Go for at least a floor higher at level 7. Yes, you still feel the pinch. But at least the pinch is mainly absorbed by level 6. Yeah, but this is all controlled by the developer. We could only play by their books. Yeah, but at least now you kind of know. Yeah. So if you were to take reference from Parktown, okay, because recent launches, right? If you notice, recent launches, the price loading is on the bigger unit, the 4-bedroom, the 5-bedroom, whereby the PSF increases as the layout increase. But for Parktown, it was the other way, whereby that the 2-bedroom PSF is higher than the 4-bedroom, 5-bedroom PSF. So we would think that I would think that developer would not will not visit by adopting a strategy that's different from Parktown, because after all, Parktown still has some 4-bedroom units available. Yeah, I can share more details if you like. Yeah, but that aside, yeah. So in terms of the view, in terms of the premium loading, like mentioned, the premium mainly at the pool facing unit. Yeah. So if your queue number is really decent, you got a good queue number, go for the premium facing lower floor. Yeah, it's better than getting a higher floor facing the BTO. Yep. Okay. Which layout to go for? I mean, there's really quite a few different types of layout. Let me break down into details for you. We'll start with the 2 bedrooms. For the 2 bedrooms, there are 4 different types: B1, 2, 3, and 4. All 2-bedroom types come with 2 bathrooms. Alright. The first 3 layouts are B1, 2, and 3 are the regular layout, whereas the B4 is the only one with a study. Okay. So if you were to look into the comparison here, it's actually quite okay. The layout, I think, would really just by the number of stacks itself will tell you that which is the more popular layout that the developers is confident with. That would be the dumbbell layout. Dumbbell meaning that there are 2 rooms on each side, okay, and then the living room is in the middle, just like a dumbbell. So for the 2 bedrooms, our guess will be mainly in the clients will be mainly investors, so they are really going to be more price sensitive, or which translates to PSS sensitive. So for B1, I would think that B1 would be the most sellable because of the quantum 624 compared to another layout here, 667 square feet. This is the traditional or the conventional layout whereby there is a walkway, so it's kind of a wasted space. Yeah. But that being said, both the layout B1 and B3, both B1 and B3 are functional. There's nothing bad to talk about it. Like there's a sizable kitchen. Bedroom size are the same, and the balcony is a decent size. Just one particular layout here, the B2, which I am a little concerned, because these are the 2 stacks that are the west facing and the east facing. the sunrise view and the sunset view. All right. The concern is that because the dining here is actually in the kitchen. Yeah. So it's an L-shaped kitchen. So it is an L-shaped kitchen compared to the double loading kitchen at the other layout. Yeah, just that the dining sits into the kitchen, so it might be really quite narrow, and then the balcony is this way, this direction. So this bedroom here might get very minimal sunlight, meaning that it might be a bit dark. Yeah, so comparing these three layout, I think B1 will give you the best value for money at 624 square feet. Yeah. Okay, and then the next layout would be the 2+ study. There's only one layout here, so if you have a bigger quantum, you're looking for own stay, then I would think that this at 700 square feet, this is really a decent layout. There's nothing bad to comment or highlight about the layout. The study is outside the common room. Yeah, so it's nicely tucked away. I like that there's an L-shaped tucked away kitchen. Yep. So this is really livable. Yeah, next on we'll move on to the 3-bedroom layouts. All right, 3-bedroom layouts, actually there are like 7 different types of layout, but we split into 2 categories. Yeah, the deluxe, which are the one without a bomb shelter and without the toilet in the kitchen. C1, C2 and C3. Okay, these 3, just bear in mind that they do not have a bomb shelter and they do not have a WC. The smallest layout will be the C1 at 807 square feet. Okay, the kitchen is really the smallest. The kitchen is really the smallest out of the 3 layouts. Here. Okay, and take note that there is no window. There is no window at the kitchen. Here. All right, other than that, I would think that the layout is the functionality is about the same. The bedroom size are the same. The common bedroom is at 8.4. Living room size, the width, the length are about the same. The key difference is mainly lies in the foyer entrance. Like you can see that, also, sorry, one more thing to highlight about C1 is that it's a dumbbell layout as well. One of the bedroom is tucked at one side, so there is a shorter walkway compared to the other layout in 3-bedroom layouts. Yeah, and then if you were to zoom into it, C2 and C3, of course you get a much more functional kitchen here. You get much, and then the foyer is different. Like this one, you use a shorter walkway. All right. Whereas for C3, you get more privacy because the entrance doesn't face the balcony, okay, or the rest of the living room. And if you're particular about feng shui, you don't like the door to face the balcony, then C3 might be more ideal. Yeah. But besides that, like I said, the livable space are the same. So next would be the 3-bedroom premium. 3-bedroom premium comes with a bomb shelter, and a third toilet at the back, at the kitchen. Yeah. So if you were to compare, okay. So before we zoom into the premium, you will notice that between the C3 and the C4, the difference is about more than 1,000 square feet. Yeah, meaning that if you were to take into average price of 2,800 PSF, you're talking about 300,000 difference in the price, and what you get is a bigger kitchen. You get a bigger kitchen. All right. You get a bomb shelter and a WC. And of course you get a slightly different type of walkway. But for 300,000 over difference, it's up to you to decide whether do you really need a bomb shelter, do you need the WC at the back. Yeah, so that is the price jump that we are looking at here. Alright, but if you decided that yes, you are going for the bigger 3-bedroom unit type, then honestly, between the different 3-bedroom with bomb shelter and WC, there is honestly not much difference. Yeah, the livable space is the same, just that there's a likewise there's a difference in the foyer entrance. Yeah, whether it faces the balcony or whether you have a bigger, longer walkway, you can do up more cabinet, but it costs more as well. Yeah, costs more PSF. Yeah, and then of course the biggest layout would be the 3-bedroom premium plus study. Okay, this happened to be the show flat model. Okay, so here you get, it's more or less the same, just that you get an additional study area in the master here. Yeah, so actually the entrance starts here. Okay, so you can have the options to have a bigger master. Okay, maybe as Mr. and Mrs. of the house, you paid so much for the house, you think that you deserve a bigger master. But if you really need to segregated master of study, you can change. You can build a wall here. You can have the option to build up the wall here. All right, and then you shift the door, the master bedroom door here, so you will have a separate study. Yeah, so this is one function. Yeah, well, but at this point I just want to highlight that at 1055 square feet, a 3+ study over at Rive, just diagonally across from Pinery Residence, it's going to be TOP time will be the same at 2029. At 926 square feet, the layout for Rivel 3+ study is much more efficient. Yeah, I don't see a compromise in the space, except the dining is a little bit shorter. Except the dining area is a bit more cramped over here. The dining here is a little bit more cramped because there is no gap in between. But I would think that at 926 compared to 1055, Rivel has a better layout. Yeah. So back to our Pinery. Okay, for the 4-bedroom, okay, there are 5 different type of 4-bedroom layout. Okay, the first one, D1, does not come with a study. The rest of the 4-bedroom layout all come with a study. All right, so but the study does make a big difference in the living room, because the study is actually integrated into the living room. So for those with a study, the 4-bedroom, regardless which bedroom type you choose, you get a wide frontier. So you have 4.75. You will get a 4.75 wide living room compared to a 3.2 meter for the 4-bedroom without a study. So this really makes a huge difference, because if at 3.2 meter you are literally getting a 3-bedroom and add in 1 bedroom, that's it. Yeah, you don't have that wow factor. And don't forget, in terms of size, it's only about 50 meter square feet. It's really just a little top up, but you get a much wider living room space. Yeah, so if you are really considering a 4-bedroom, I would strongly suggest that you go for the 4-bedroom with a study. Yeah, it's really going to be different. If you visit the show flat, you will know the 4-bedroom without a study, the living room is similar to the 3-bedroom show flat living room. Yeah, okay. And if you have decided to get a 4 bedrooms with a study, then the rest of the layout are pretty similar. are pretty similar. D3, D2, D3, D4. The main difference is mainly in the foyer. Yeah, for D2, I think it's the most ideal across all the bedroom type for the 4-bedroom, because you don't need a long foyer. If you're not particular about the foyer, the entrance facing, yeah, then D2 will be the most ideal. Just one small difference to highlight is that for D2 you get a storeroom, whereas for D3, D4 you get a bomb shelter. To me, no difference, because I can store my things in. Yeah, just that for the storeroom you can choose. Yeah, you can choose to enlarge your kitchen. Yeah, but not a deal breaker. Yeah, and then the biggest layout for the 4-bedroom we study will be the D5. Yeah, this is the showroom unit. So it's the only bedroom type that comes with a dry kitchen, a shared additional toilet that can be shared between the 2 bedrooms, and of course the master bedroom comes with a walk-in wardrobe and a much bigger master bedroom. Yeah, but if you're considering a D5, may I strongly suggest that you should actually consider a 5-bedroom. Yeah. Okay, before I move to the 5-bedroom, I also would like to highlight the difference for the Revell 4-bedroom at 1044 square feet. You also get there's no study as well, so it's similar to the D1 in Pinery Residence, just that it's 100 square feet. Yeah, 100 square feet. 100. There's a difference of 100 square feet. There's a difference of 100 square feet. All right. And then the usable space is pretty similar, just that at Revell the layout is more efficient because there is a minimal entrance walkway, so you really kind of save up quite a bit on the walkway itself. And also it's similar because it all comes with a bomb shelter, a bathroom at the back, and the livable size I would think is really about the same. So Revell, their layout is really better. Yeah, okay, just something for you to consider, to think about. Okay, yeah. So okay, back to the 5-bedroom. If you're considering D5, you should strongly consider getting a 5-bedroom. Why? Because at about 80 square feet difference, you get an additional junior master. Yes, you don't have a study here. Your living room is slightly shorter at 4 meters compared to 4.75, but you get additional junior master, which is, I think, much better than getting a 4-bedroom study, yeah, without a junior master. I mean, if you're really paying so much for planning to pay for a D5, maybe if your budget, if your finance your calculation allows, maybe do consider E1. Yeah, just go for the best, since D5 and the difference is about 80 square feet. Yeah, so with that I come to the end of the floor plan analysis. Yeah, and then stay put with me. My next video we'll deep dive into the details of the pricing, comparing the resale prices around in Tampines, the older condo, the newer condo like Treasures, Parktown, and whether it makes sense for you to secure a unit at Pinery Residence. Yeah. So thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe.